for a good thing.
And speaking of social struggles, we are in a country right now where there is gay marriage in Iowa. And looking like it is coming to Maine and New Hampshire as well, maybe even by the time this meeting is done. I mean,
Well, we can filibuster and stay here long enough until that.
Yeah, that's true. Until Alabama, that'll be our slogan. And it makes me want to ask you the question, how do you see this movement for gay marriage? Which, by the way, now a plurality of the United States supports gay marriage, which is a shift of even in 2 months. It's gone from being a minority position to a plurality position. Because of struggle, struggle has changed people on this question. How do you see this movement in the continuum of the movements that you've written about in your life?
Well, one of the things that we can learn from what you just described, that is the remarkable emergence of gay marriage, is suddenly acceptable. More people in favor of it. When, a decade ago, nobody wanted to talk about it. The whole issue of gay and lesbian rights is a real example of how things can change. Things that look as if they will never change. I mean, really, nobody would have dreamed 30 or 40 years ago that you could even talk about homosexuality, gays, and lesbians. Really, it was just a taboo thing. And now it's in the culture, it's in the movies, it's on television, and people, and what you learn is that people are basically decent. They may have imbibed the prejudices of the culture, but if people speak up, well, people come out of the closet. Not only gay people come out of the closet, but non-gay people come out of the closet of silence about gay people, you see. The truth has a power that will emerge if you continue doing the right thing. And I think that the movement is an example of it.
Absolutely. And I think radicals need to come out of the closet and not be afraid to speak our minds in this political climate. And that leads to this question. I've wanted to ask you this all day.
I'm worried about this.
Okay. I mean, the word socialism is all over the media right now, except it's being said by people like Rush Limbaugh, Jim Cramer, who called Congress a gaggle of Bolsheviks, by the way. Mike Huckabee, who said he thought that Lenin had advised Obama on his banking plan. And Michelle Bachmann from Minnesota, the utterly unhinged one, who said that Barack Obama is going to be sending our children to re-education camps, which Jon Stewart made the point, don't we have to educate them first? And it raises a question, certainly, that this discussion of socialism. Oh, but the best line, Matt Taibbi, the journalist, he said, all these people, it's like they're fighting for the heavyweight championship of stupid. But it raises this question. I mean, clearly they wouldn't be saying the word if they weren't fearful of the word. Mm-hmm. And I wonder, what were your thoughts about the prospects of a radical politics emerging in this day and age? And what are your thoughts on the right wing of this country?
Let's talk about socialism. It's time that people were not afraid to utter the word socialism. You see, there was a long period when socialism was discredited because it was connected with the Soviet Union. The Soviet, when people thought of, socialism, that's Stalinism. It's the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. But it wasn't socialist. It was something else. But the word, I think it's very important to bring back the idea of socialism into the national discussion and to bring socialism back to where it was at the turn of the century. Before the Soviet Union existed, before the Soviet Union gave socialism a bad name, Socialism had a good name in this country. Socialism had Eugene Debs. It had Clarence Darrow. It had Mother Jones. It had Emma Goldman. It had several million people reading socialist newspapers around the country. There were 13 socialist locals in Oklahoma.
Really? Where the Reds go sweeping down the plain, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Just ignore it. It's a musical theater joke.
No,
Sorry.
I mean, socialism was a marvelous ideal. And it was understandable that socialism would have taken hold in this country at the turn of the century, because at the beginning of the 20th century, people could see capitalism at its ugliest. People could see people working long hours, and people could see the market system at its worst, and labor struggles taking place all over the country against horrible oppressive conditions. And socialism basically said, hey, let's have a kinder, gentler society. Let's share things. Let's have an economic system that produces things not because they're profitable to some corporation, produces things that people need. I remember the slogan that I learned when I was first learning about socialism, and I first learned about it from Upton Sinclair, who was a great writer and a great socialist, and especially you read the last pages of The Jungle. The beginning of The Jungle is all about the meat packing plants. The last pages of The Jungle, he expounds on what a socialist society would be like. And it's a beautiful, beautiful picture. And so that we need to restore that idea of a egalitarian society. And in other words, instead of retreating, there are too many people on the left, or certainly it's true of liberals, like liberals retreating from the word liberal. Civil libertarians retreating from, oh, are you a member of the ACLU? No, I swear. No, people should not be retreating from the word socialism. We have more and more people talking about it, because we have to go beyond capitalism. Capitalism has failed. We have to go beyond it. We have to have, and for those people who think, oh, socialism means bureaucracy, or socialism means centralization. No, no. Socialism is open to various forms, but the fundamental principle, in socialism, is production for use and not for profit. I remember learning that expression. Socialism, production, an economic system for use, for human beings, and not for profit. I'll just give you one other slogan. I suddenly feel full of slogans. Of course, there's the Marxist slogan. Talk about socialism being bad. How about Marxism? Ooh, Marxism. But Marx said something very nice, actually. He said, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Give to the society what you can, but give everybody what they need. You don't have to be rewarded exactly for what you do. Everybody deserves certain basic things. But the slogan I was thinking of, actually, which I refuse to forget, is when someone asked Dalton Trumbo, I don't know how many people know who Dalton Trumbo is? Dalton Trumbo, this is getting better. Now there are 7 people who know about something that I said. Dalton Trumbo was a very successful Hollywood screenwriter. He was one of the Hollywood 10. You may have heard of the Hollywood 10. They went to prison for refusing to answer questions before the House Un-American Activities Committee. And Dalton Trumbo went to prison. He was blacklisted. By the way, he won an Academy Award while being blacklisted under an assumed name. And really, they called out a name, which was not Dalton Trumbo, but he had written the screenplay, and this person got the Academy Award for Best Screenplay of the Year. They called out Robert Rich. Nobody came up to get the award. It was Dalton Trumbo. Anyway, Dalton Trumbo, sorry for these parenthetical remarks, but most of the things I say belong in parentheses. But Dalton Trumbo Somebody asked him once, what do you believe in? What is your, sometimes people, they want you to say what you are. He said, well, 3 words. And I always remember those 3 words to me. He said, socialism without jails. That was a nice summing up. Socialism without jails.